to learn about the Banach spaces, a special type of non-linear spaces that is called Banach spaces. Due to this is to honor the Stephen Banach, a great Polish mathematician who extensively studies these spaces. So that's why in the honor of that mathematician, it is called Banach spaces. In fact, Stephen Banach can be considered as the core founder of the modern analysis. Today, we see the functions is available in the box. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, this one. Okay, so this is, let me start with, let us begin with definition. What is the completeness in a metric space? A metric space is said to be complete if every Cauchy sequence in X converges to a point in X. That is important. Converges to a point in X. Similarly, what do you mean by a Banach space? So a Banach space is nothing but a complete norm-linear space. You know, a norm-linear space is a metric space. So a norm-linear space is said to be a Banach space if it is complete under the metric induced by the norm on H. Okay, induced by the norm on H. Okay, that's fine. So let us take some examples, which are. Let us take some examples. Okay, fine. So the most simplest examples are the real line and the complex planes. These are the Banach spaces with usual norm induced by this norm defined by modulus function. Let us take another example, which is also the easiest one and easy to observe. The set of all n tuples of scalars, right? So you know, Cn is a linear space. Set of all n tuples of scalars is a linear space over C. Cn is a linear space over C, and this can be made as a norm linear space. So here we are defining the P norm, where P is bigger than or equal to 1 and less than infinity. So what is the P norm of the vector X? This is k is equal to 1 to, here must be n, I'm sorry, mod xk to the power P whole to the power 1 by. Then Cn with this norm is denoted by LNP. So I will denote it as LNP. LNP means just n tuple, and P denotes the P norm of this norm linear space. So interesting thing is this LNP is a complete norm linear space. That is, this is a Banach space. So how to prove? So we need to prove that whatever the Cauchy sequence is considered in Cn, that is in LNP, it will be convergent. It will be convergent to n tuple of scalars. Moreover, this convergence is with respect to the norm. So later on, we will see what is meaning. Okay, so let us take a Cauchy sequence XR, R is equal to 1 to infinity be a Cauchy sequence in LNP, where XR is the n tuples of scalars, that is x1r, x2r, xnr. So because this is a Cauchy sequence, what does it mean? It means for epsilon greater than 0, there is a natural number n such that the distance between any two consecutive terms, any two terms after the nth term will be smaller than epsilon. This is the Cauchiness property, is not it? Where dp denotes the p distance induced by the p norm. Okay. So because XR is a Cauchy sequence, so for epsilon greater than 0, there is a natural number n such that the distance between any two terms after nth term will be smaller than epsilon. That is, P norm of XR minus XH is less than epsilon whenever R comma S is bigger than. That is, by the definition of norm, this is the whole sum, this is the whole thing. less than epsilon whenever this, because here are n terms. So from 1 it follows that because this is whole to the power 1 by p, taking both the sides power p, you have k is equal to 1 to n, summation k is equal to 1 to n modulus of xr minus xs with kth term p less than epsilon to the power whenever rs is bigger than or equal to n. And of course, because here you see n terms are here, right? Here are n terms. K is equal to 1, that is x1r minus x1s plus similarly x2r minus x2s to the power p plus and so on. There are n terms. So because the sum of n terms is less than epsilon to the power p, so what about a single term? So single term also must be less than epsilon power p. And therefore, what you have that modulus of xr minus xs corresponding to k term is less than epsilon. And this is true for every k lies between 1 to n. Means if you put here 1, then it is true. Then if you put 2, also true. So for each k lies between 1 to n, this quantity, that is the modulus of this, is less than epsilon whenever r comma s is bigger than or equal to n. Okay. What does it reflect? It reflects that the sequence of complex numbers, that is xkr, where r is equal to 1 to infinity, is a Cauchy sequence of complex number, is not it? For each k, just fix k and let us run r over 1 to infinity. Then it is a sequence of complex number. And you know, C is complete. Therefore, the Cauchy sequence xkr must converge to a complex number, say xk. That means x1r converges to x1, x2r converges to x2, and so on. xnr converges to xn. So let me write x is equal to the n tuples of these limits, x1, x2, xk, and so on, xn. Then what about x? X is of course n tuples of scalars, n tuples of complex number. So therefore x belongs to C. Because this sequence converges to xk, for epsilon greater than 0, I am taking here epsilon by n to the power 1 by p greater than 0. There is this is a technical setting. So there is a natural number nk such that this xr minus x, that is corresponding to k, xkr minus xk, is less than modulus of this is less than epsilon to the power epsilon by n to the power 1 by p for every r bigger than or equal to n, right? Because this is convergent. So this is the definition of convergence, nothing else. And because here this is true for each k, so there is n1, there is n2, there is n3, and so on, there is nn. So choose n is the maximum of these n, right? Then what we get? We get that summation k is equal to 1 to n mod xk to the power r minus xk whole to the power p whole to the power 1 by p is less than, because this quantity is less than this, then to the power p is less than whole to the power p, and whole to the power p means epsilon power p by n, because p by p cancel out. And this is going to sum up to n, that is 1 by n, 1 by 1, n by n, n times. So gives you n by n, that's mean 1. So what you have? You have just epsilon, right? Okay, fine. So what we proved? We proved that xr minus x under p norm is p norm of xr minus x is less than epsilon. And this is the meaning, that is, this is the dp distance of xr to x is less than epsilon. That means the sequence xr converges to x under the metric dp, that is under the norm p. So we have proved that xr converges to x in ln p. That is important. It converges to x in ln p. That means x is a vector in ln p. Moreover, this converges to x under the p norm, and therefore ln p is a banana, because this xr is a arbitrary Cauchy sequence. So this arbitrary Cauchy sequence converges to a point in ln p. That means whatever the Cauchy sequence you take in ln p, it will converge to a point in ln p, and it proves that ln p is a banana sequence. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Is not it? So write in your chat box. Is it okay? Fine. Okay, let's take another example. Again, this ln infinity is a Banach space. What is ln infinity? For x is equal to x1, x2, xn, that is n tuples of complex numbers, let infinite norm of x is defined as maximum of mod xk, k lies between 1 to n. Then Cn with this norm is denoted by ln infinity. And of course, ln infinity is a non-linear space. So what is important? Important thing is ln infinity is also a complete non-linear space. That is, it is a Banach space. So how to prove? Again, we have to prove that every Cauchy sequence in ln infinity converges to a point in ln infinity under the infinite norm, under the max norm. Keep quiet. Okay, so let XR be a Cauchy sequence in ln infinity. Of course, XR is the n tuples of complex numbers denoted like this. Therefore, because it's a Cauchy sequence, so by the property of Cauchiness, for epsilon greater than 0, there is a natural number n such that distance between any two terms after this nth term is always smaller than epsilon, right? That is, infinite norm of xr minus xs is less than epsilon for every rs bigger than or equal to n. You may write here whenever or for every r comma s bigger than, no matter, right? So this is the just way of writing, different way of writing. Someone writes r comma s bigger than or equal to n implies that this one. The same is true. Okay, all these are equivalent. So by the definition of infinite norm, you have maximum of k lies between 1 to n, modulus of this is less than epsilon. That is, each and every term is less than epsilon, right? So from 1 it follows that for every k from 1 to n, this modulus of xr minus xs corresponding to k is less than epsilon. For every rs bigger than or equal to n. And what second shows? Second shows that x for each fixed k, xkr is a Cauchy sequence of complex numbers, right? Is a Cauchy sequence of complex number. And because C is complete, it must converge to some complex number, say xk. That means x1r converges to x1, x2r converges to x2, and so on, right? So let me choose x is a vector found by these n limits, that is x1, x2, xn. Then, of course, this n tuples of complex number. So that's why this x vector belongs to C, right? Okay, now for k lies between 1 to n, the sequence xk r is equal to 1 to infinity is a sequence of complex number converges to complex number xk. So for epsilon greater than 0, there is a natural number nk such that this will hold by the definition of limit of a convergent sequence, right? Okay. So because this is true for each k, so for k is equal to 1, you have n1. For k is equal to 2, you have n2, and so on. For k is equal to n, you have n small n. So let us choose n is the maximum of these n numbers. So what you have, because this third holds for each nk, so third will hold for n also, because r is bigger than or equal to nk. If you choose r bigger than or equal to n, then still this will hold, right? What does it mean? It means the maximum of these numbers always will be less than epsilon for every r bigger than or equal to, right? You clear this term? Okay. So that is infinite norm of xr minus xs is less than epsilon for each r bigger than or equal to n. That is d infinity distance of xr comma x is less than epsilon. That means xr converges to x in ln infinity. So what we have proved today? We have proved that ln infinity is also a Banach space. So today we learned the definition of a Banach space, and this is nothing but a complete non-linear space. And you have seen the two examples. One more example, that is R and C. These two examples are non-trivial, and I hope it is clear to everyone how to verify a given norm linear space is a Banach space or not a Banach space. Okay. So we are done today. Any question, please ask.